just like that, we're back! Bonus, bonus, bonus! You guys, you get not one, you get 2 episodes. This is a bonus episode for you guys, and I am so happy to announce we have a surprise announcement on Culture Couturé Podcast. And no, it's not luxury skincare. It's all about
Thank you.
With 2 surprises to announce to you guys. And I'm going to let her take it away.
Your girl Ink is with child. I'm a mother, y'all. Tay said I couldn't do it, but I did it.
Period.
Yes. Got a winter baby on the way. She's due in about 4 weeks. So just stay tuned. I can't believe God wanted to duplicate this, but you know, when the plans come into alignment, they be aligned.
Oh my God, we got to get you a manger.
We gotta get me a manger.
Yeah. Oh my God. And also, congratulations on, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Put a ring on it. He did. Girl, he did a good job. Hold on, let me make sure it's facing forward. Everybody can see. He did a good job. Yes.
The slay.
Yes, we got married in May, a baby in December.
How
y'all don't have to do the math.
How has married life been, Phaedra Parks?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. I don't know why we didn't do this sooner. And honestly, it was on me because the man been asking. He been asking. I'm just like, well, hold on. He like, okay, girl, whenever you're ready.
So you distilling the notion for Black women. Y'all hear this. We are not by choice. We're not getting married by force. It's a choice these days to be married, to have it all.
Yes, literally that. Honestly, I would encourage everybody to take their time. A lot of people want to rush into getting married. Oh, I got to get married in my 20s. Get married when you're ready. Because I'm one of the prime examples of someone who was like, am I ready? Am I ready? He been ready. Day one, he was like, let's do this. He's been saying, let's just go on down. We can go anywhere. Wherever you want to get married, I want to get married. But for me, it was really like, am I ready? What does being a wife look like for me? And I finally grew into what being a wife looked like for me so that I could be the best version of myself for this relationship, for this marriage, and now for motherhood. If I wouldn't have given myself that time, if he wouldn't have given me that time, who knows what this would have looked like? You know, you don't want to go into a marriage with your childish ways. And I had a lot of stuff I had to grow up about. So I'm grateful that he gave me the time, gave me the ring I wanted. And yeah, girl, married life is great.
He wanted to lock that down.
And did.
So we're excited. We're excited for this bonus episode, Ink, because this is all about, we're going to do this roundtable discussion. And the first thing we're going to discuss today is the 2025 Grammy nominations.
Yes.
It's exciting.
We got some names. We got some names on here. First, let's just start off Beyonce with 11. I heard it was 19. But this one was 11 this year, and that brings Beyonce up to a total of 99 total nominations. Okay, well deserved. She's been making music for what, 30 years now. So her getting Grammy nominations, the baby girl knows the formula. Okay, but we got some great names on there. One of the things I was really excited to see, a great songwriter, and everybody knows she's a great songwriter, but Billie Eilish's nominations were well deserved. I think she kind of floated a little bit under the radar in comparison to the year before, where it was really like just heavy Billie Eilish. But now that she's kind of getting into what people are calling her big pun era, as far as her wardrobe attire, she's had a chance to really focus on giving people a chance to focus on her songwriting. So Birds of a Feather got nominated as Record of the Year, well deserved. But she's going up against Beyonce with Texas Hold'em, and she's also going up against 360 with Charlie XCX. So I feel like it's going to be real competitive, especially given that Record of the Year, we got a diss track also being nominated for Record of the Year, but Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Honestly, that kind of competition in that category alone is going to give us an interesting Grammy season. Just that one category. What you think?
Kendrick is not a contender for Album of the Year. It's a great, I think it could be, it's not even Song of the Year. I think Espresso will be,
Mm.
of course, I think Espresso will be the song of the year because it rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
She will win Best New Artist. As much as I love Beyonce and I want Beyonce to win and things, Beyonce, please do not go to the Grammys this year. I need for her to have a setup at home. I need her to take her old Grammy. And if she wins Grammy of the Year, send your mother in your place to the awards to go up on the stage. And then let them feed you to your home, standing there in all your statuettes and be given. Thank y'all so much. Don't leave your home because I want you to do one or two things like you always do. If you win, then you can go and do your speech live from your home. If you lose, post up a statue of yourself, be given, baby. I am the most nominated woman in Grammy history. That am the statue, bitch.
Literally that.
Don't give these people ratings. Do not show up to their thing if they don't give it to you. They of course they always going to nominate Taylor Swift in the situation. And I don't think Taylor Swift is going to win this year because I think there's other people's albums that were just as bigger. But we are here to see what happens. But Beyonce, do your diva ways and pay it.
Yeah, I fully agree with her not attending the Grammys this year, win or lose. I am in full support of that because you're right. She gives and brings the ratings every time she comes. She gives her all. She gives a lovely speech every time she wins.
Thank you so much. I'm trying not to be too emotional. And I'm trying to just receive this night.
But after being snubbed so many times for album of the year, and honestly, Renaissance should have been album of the year given how impactful it was to last year. But I digress. Don't show up this year. I fully agree. Send Mama Tina if you win, but also save y'all little, not little money, save your big money on flights and be at the house with you and your family. Go on a trip or something like that and save yourself the stress and the sweat about it. But I think if anyone gets album of the year, I'm thinking Chapel Roan might do it. Because Chapel Roan been hitting real hard this year.
So unfortunately, I don't know about Chaperone. I have not heard one song. Music is just not.
It's more investigative for me. It's more of I just need to investigate and see what's going on. Because I made the same choice with Tyler the Creator's last album. While I find Tyler the Creator to be a phenomenal like composer, producer, songwriter, Tyler the Creator has never been like my super duper like top 10 for me. Yeah, as far as an artist. However, this last album was so intriguing. The response, everyone's response to it was so intriguing. I just had to, like, for investigative purposes, dive into it and zero regrets. It's actually a really good album.
So let me say this, what I think that the music industry is doing. They are producers and stuff. They are seeing, because they're crafting these artists behind the scene, their music. They're seeing the formulation. They're giving, why am I going to do it for them when I can do it for myself? Number one, they're not artists. And we live in a society now where the underdog can become the star. And I don't like that. These people are not singers. You're not meant to be a singer. And this is also an American thing. It's about Americans that want to do this, that they feel they can do what somebody else, God-given talent, better. And it doesn't work. A lot of these producers, like you got SZA and all these are not singers. Y'all don't know how to control an emotion with a song.
Yeah.
And none of these, we don't have a singer. None of these girls. I'm sorry.
I think the packaging is what happens. Like, I think that because it's such a commodity, it's all about the money behind it. So a lot of the branding behind the artist is the focus, as opposed to the development or actually finding the singers. That's why you find such great singers who are unknown and unsigned on TikTok. But on the back end, the people who's getting pushed are people who are over synthesized, over auto-tuned, over. I've been saying for at least 3 years, the next woman rapper that's going to like kill him is Doechii. I've been saying it. And this year, finally, she got stage presence. The girl's lyricism. She got nominated for Grammys this year. And it's well deserved because her actual lyricism as a well packaged rapper is happening.
All right, Club, now I am Doechii. I'm just came off fresh off a motherfucking tour.
And that's what I would love to see for singers, is really the investment of that runway. We don't have a lot of singers are not getting that runway no more, where you see them kind of do the circuit for about 2 years. They kind of, for lack of a better word, take their lumps a little bit. They do the small stages. They still doing openers. They don't really do that no more, where they package them small and then they blow. Doechii actually got packaged a little bit for the first, I'll say the last 3 to 5 years. She's been getting packaged and popped very much. And I've been saying Doechii is next. I've been saying it for a minute. So as a rapper, she followed the proper formula.
She is, because she was just on an album with Katy Perry that flopped. But the thing is with Doechii is that I think her look is such a copy of Doja Cat.
Yeah, and a lot of people are upset about that.
Her package needs to be packaged differently. It's just, for me, the image isn't there yet, but that's another thing. But I actually do love her music. I really do love her music. It's very Azalea Banks about it. Dance is fun. House is all that, is a blend of all these different genres into it. And so we'll see. We look forward to it.
We'll see
what you got.
Every morning, I believe in starting fresh, feeling my best from the inside out. With Anaga Luxury Skincare, I know my skin is cared for day and night. As the day picks up, so does my look. Anaga is my go-to for that effortless glow, and it holds up through everything I face. From dawn to dusk, I'm on the move. Anaga keeps my skin balanced and luminous, letting me shine no matter what's on my schedule. But by the end of the day, it's time to treat my skin to the reset it deserves. With Anaga, I'm not just taking off makeup, I'm nourishing, restoring, and preparing for tomorrow. Anaga Luxury Skincare is my secret to flawless, healthy skin, morning and night. Because taking care of yourself should feel like a luxury. Trust me, your skin deserves this. And now, back to the Culture Couturé Podcast.
But we're going to go on to our next topic. We're going to talk about the verdict, the trial of Atlanta Century. Young Thug. How do you feel about the trial, since it's been the longest running trial in Atlanta, Georgia's history? The plea deal, when I think he actually could have been found not guilty or hung jury, and him being released from prison on this stupid plea deal. What do you think, Ink?
So first, I think he could have been found not guilty too. Either not guilty or a hung jury. I fully agree, because there were so many components about this trial it just made it feel like, I felt like I was watching, like I could hear clown music happening in the background every time I would watch any segment about this trial. I also feel like there was a lot of hands that got greased, a lot of palms got greased during this trial, and it was pretty evident given the tensions that was happening between the defense and the prosecution. I think that's really interesting. I also felt like at a certain point it was to make a spectacle. I think it was to remind these artists one of two things, or both. It was either to remind artists how fragile freedom is, and I tell people all the time, freedom is fragile. You could be minding your business and freedom get stripped away from you. Freedom is fragile. But also to kind of really drive home the importance of being strategic with your lyricism. Watch what you say, because it might come back to you. Then also there's this element of like how you represent yourself for the media. We were just talking about branding and packaging of these artists. If you branding and packaging yourself in a way that could even a little bit be misconstrued as a violent entity, there needs to be some revisiting of what that looks like. Because from a social standpoint, I'm a sociologist, from a social standpoint, what are we portraying and what are we conveying to our communities if the most popular things they see in media are violent entities? Now, on the back end, to release somebody after 5 years, almost 5 years of incarceration, and then give them the contingency that one slip up will give you 20 additional years in prison, you should have just kept them. You should have just kept them at this point. You should have kept them. Because to tell somebody, slip up and we got you for 20 years, probation and parole is hard. I don't think people realize that. I can't go back to my old ways, so I got to tiptoe through life for the next 15 years. 15 years? At that point, you might as well just go ahead, give him the rest of that little bit of time and let him ride it out and let him get out on good behavior, which will probably be what, 8 years, as opposed to having walking on eggshells for 15 to 20 years. It's just, I think there's a lot at risk. And he would have to change pretty much his entire inner and outer circles. Yep. He's gonna have to become a family man. Huh.
Because you can't be a gang affiliation. You can't be affiliated with somebody. You can make one post with somebody who's a convicted felon and they can lock you back up. People don't understand all of that. You could be on set even with a fake gun and it can look like it's a real thing and they can come lock you up.
Yep. And won't question. They won't question it.
They won't question it. So I think this was a miscarriage of justice all the way around. I think Fonnie Willis, I think that starting with her relationship with her little significant other being co-counsel was a mess. You can't go into something with your hands dirty, especially being a Black woman, regardless of, oh my God, I could do whatever. No, you can't do whatever you want. We don't have the liberty to fuck around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. And she messed around and she found out with this case and with Donald Trump. They exposed you. It would have never got exposed if she didn't go after Donald Trump. White men don't play fair with us. So you don't have the liberty to do that. That's how with the district attorney in New York, she's able to stand her ground because she knows she don't have no dirt. That's what I like. And so the case was already messed up by taking too long. It's taking too long. The sheer incompetence in this situation, just like you said, it probably was some hands that was greased because it was just too many things that happened that should have never, on the prosecution side. Everybody should be fired. I'm sorry. Everybody should be fired because these are slip-ups that shouldn't have, but what I live here and I have been through the system here in Georgia and I've seen it. You guys, this is an everyday occurrence that y'all don't get to see. I know somebody personally who shot a police officer through his cop car and sat down in the same, just like with Young Thug, and end up getting out on a deal too. Like it happens because it takes so long. You go through, they just want to wash this through and they'd rather get a conviction just to get on out. But what I think that what's wrong about this, I think because they messed up so much, he could have got off or a hung jury and they would have never prosecuted this again. He is wrong. Things that they have done to people in the community here, get rid of them. I like the fact that they say you can't be here in Atlanta. Get all of them because Governor Kemp allowed all these people to come here during COVID and created a mess here in Georgia, what we never had. Now let's get to this sentencing. This plea deal that he took with the probation, which I think is stupid. As somebody who's been on probation is the worst thing in life. Y'all sit and do your time. Tell them give you 3 extra years you would do than do probation because a probation officer has the power to put you back in prison. With anything you do, it's going to be hell on wheels. It's not a nice thing. I think probation, we need to do away with it. Let people serve that time and move on. It eliminates a lot of jobs. It eliminates a lot of crap for the system and a lot of red tapes. Just sentence people, do rehabilitation, and let's move on. Probation
literally.
Is
yes.
So I wish him well. Hopefully he stays out, but because they gave him this to let him out. We all know you're going to end up back in prison, and it's just what it is. Because you have to change your whole life. You got to change your whole circle. You can't do the things that you're doing. Y'all Gen Zs out here running around talking about shoot them up, gang, bang, 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 bang. And y'all going to end up in prison. They let y'all slide for a little bit, but y'all don't need to rap about that. Rap about something else. Y'all know y'all not killers. Y'all not bangers. Talk about scheming and all that, all the rest of the stuff that y'all be doing. Talk about stuff like that. But all this killing and stuff, y'all got to stop. It's lame.
I fully agree. Especially that part about let people serve their time and be done with it because probation and parole ain't nothing but prison on a leash. It fully prevents people from being able to get employed. I work with the formerly incarcerated and justice impacted here in LA, and people will come home after serving their time. They already being repunished by hiring managers because they see that record and they don't want to hire you. So they already experienced a punishment there. But then you got parole and probation officers talking about, oh, you can't have a job that has you work past 6 o'clock. When it's like sometimes the swing shift be the most available job. That 3 to 9 sometimes be the most available hours for people coming home from prison. And you making these restrictions, which makes it harder. And then you're gonna tell them if you don't get a job, you go back to prison. Make up your mind. You want me to get a job or not? And granted, Young Thug may not be in the exact same position. However, the circle that he's gonna be running around, they don't have his brand. So they themselves have to decide how they gonna interact with him as well. And half the industry got convictions. So he really got to be careful with who he associates with. Some of the biggest names in hip hop got records. So I we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Congratulations. Welcome home, Young Thug.
Welcome home.
This is the roundtable discussion. We're talking about Tyler Perry making a comeback that I personally don't think he needs, because he's the Aaron Spelling of our time. And we're talking about Beauty and Black.
Good morning, ma'am. Her family owns all of this. I wonder what her life is like.
I bet she ain't staying in no pay-by-the-week hotel.
Beautiful and deadly.
Beauty and Black, baby.
It was a phenomenal project, and I'm so glad that he put my girl Crystal Stewart. I love Crystal Stewart. When I saw it, I immediately hit her up and I said, phenomenal job, phenomenal. She's always a beauty. I've been a fan of Crystal since she was Miss Texas, when she tried 3 years to be Mrs. Texas and go on to win and then become Miss USA. So I am a true fan of Crystal, but the project was phenomenal. What do you think?
I thought the project was good. I think that when you get to a certain level like Tyler Perry, you should feel more comfortable expanding your writing team. And I understand that's a part of his genius. That's a huge part of his genius, is that he is the writer. But I feel like we would have an opportunity to really come in and hit people in those emotional points with that extra input. So for coming through the first 2 episodes, I'm going, okay, sidebar. Let's go to Crystal. Crystal not only looks good, but the believability of this mogul energy I was floored.
I'm not gonna let a dead bitch give me wrinkles.
Always stuttering. Take your ass upstairs to that garage apartment and get the fuck out of my face.
What?
You think I'm stupid?
Yeah, I do actually.
You think you're really smarter than me, huh?
Lord, that's been proven that I am.
So Crystal, you got it. You won, okay?
What Kamala should have been on this election campaign.
Look, girl, oh my God, my heart. I'm still in recovery. Still recovering from November 5th, okay? But I love Crystal's energy. I think she did an incredible job of coming in as like the scorned wife, but also I got to get to this money, because the money is the only thing that can keep me distracted from the nonsense going on in my house. So I love that. But I also feel like someone as brilliant as Tyler Perry is able to build up a writing team, right? To build up so that these emotions that people feel about his series, when it wraps up, series or his movies, can carry on. I would love to see the sentiments that people feel about Bridgerton when they're done watching a season of Bridgerton and they're just reliving it. I want to see that same energy for Tyler Perry's projects. It's a lot of time and a lot of energy that goes into these projects that he's created. They deserve to have that emotional longevity, that thread that pulls, where people are like, where's the next season? Because with Bridgerton, and then they coming out with Queen Charlotte, those sentiments were carried through these very, very intimate, nonverbal scenes almost. The way that the actors meshed on screen, the way that every scene felt very like you're holding your breath doing it. I want that same energy from Tyler Perry's projects. Sometimes I don't want to be punched in the gut. And that whole season got me. I took a lot of punches during the Beauty and Black season. I took a lot of punches. However, what I kept reminding myself while watching this season was, this stuff really happens. This stuff really happens. Every time I get a gut punch, I go, ooh, but this stuff is really happening. Oh, girls getting BBLs in motel rooms, that's really happening. young girls being left on the side of the road by their mama. That's really happening. They got it all the money, marriage, and you think it look great from the outside, but it's hell on the inside. That's really happening. So the reality thread keeps it going, and that's what I think people are going to look forward to from the next season, part 2, when it drops. I think that's what we're going to look forward to, is how are you going to keep that real human thread going, Tyler? What we got going next?
Okay. One thing that I will say that the discussions on the board have been saying, Tyler Perry, he's stuck in one genre. And I think he can't get out of that. And what you were saying earlier about Queen Charlotte and Bridgertons and things, because he writes everything from what he can only see. Tyler is a Black man from the South and a certain box that he lives in and he sees. So his imagination doesn't go out of that, because he tries to write to those people, because let's keep it a buck. Black people are in that box and they don't dream outside. We see all about our projects. Only thing we see is drug dealers, prostitutes, strip clubs, and downtrodden going to work 9 to 5. That's the
baby
only
mama drama, granny dying, broke. That's a lot of the threads, them common threads. Yep, I agree.
And so it's hard to see us. It's hard for Black people to see themselves outside of that, because you saw a few years ago with 12 Years a Slave that Black people was saying, we're tired of seeing us in slavery movies. And if you notice, ever since then, we haven't seen another slavery movie.
Right.
When are we going to say we're tired of seeing us as drug dealers? We're tired of seeing us in strip clubs. Because I think that's the next 2 things that we need to start doing. And we need to start seeing ourselves in real productions. Like a project that just I saw on a plane to London was with Ingenue Ellis, and phenomenal actress. She was just in Deliverance. If y'all haven't seen the Deliverance, Lee Daniels killed it. But Ingenue was in Ava DuVernay's project. That film was phenomenal. It is more projects that we need to see. And it's another project where Rise Up, what's her name? Oh my God, I'm going blank today with people.
And I've been talking about this girl, Andra Day.
Andra Day. She's in a new film that we need more Black projects like this that actually talk to the human aspect of our everyday existence. And so if y'all haven't watched them, go out and watch them and things. We need to start supporting more Black films and telling our stories that way versus being strippers and drug dealers. And
yeah. Because I think it's also a low-hanging fruit thing. I think it's one of those things where it's like, I know this is going to draw it in, because as Black people, we're going to support Black, because my logic has always been, if I watch as many Black projects that come out, more Black projects will be produced and created. So that's one of my first driving forces to going toward a Black project is, if I watch it, they'll keep producing it. If I watch it, more Black people will get funding. If I watch it, more Black people will get, the support. And so I fully agree. It's like, I'm watching it to support you because I want you to thrive. But at the same time, if what you're showing me, because we know media reflects how we feel about ourselves, if what you're showing me is the low-hanging fruit, as in these are the hard-hitting emotional topics that'll hit you right in the gut, like I was saying earlier, if that's all you give me, also give me inspiration, give me hope. You know what I mean? Give me something that can make me see that even mediocrity is a part of the Black experience, and I deserve to exist as being mediocre sometimes, as opposed to being either the worst version of myself or only the super affluent version that has an evil counterpoint to it. I should be able to exist right in the middle also. It makes me think of, this is so random, but there's a show called Only Murders in the Building with Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez. And when I think of what a concept for this show is, none of these characters are particularly relatable, right? But they've gotten 5 seasons, hour-long episodes, 12 episodes per season about this show. I'm like, we should have shows like this. these characters do not look and always reflect our exact experience as Black people, or for this particular group of folks, non-Black people. But it's an entertaining show. Give us that. Bring back the writer's room. That's what I would love to see, because Tyler Perry has these good ideas, but they could be fleshed out and they could really be hidden some other elements of the Black experience with that kind of, connection. I think that's something that I just feel like he's missing. Just that one little piece, and now set him off.
Or he could talk to some people like my story. It's going to come. It's going to be a TV show. It's going to be things like that. It resonates. People can see themselves, and the white community will support it. We know this. They will support. They like our culture. And so Tyler Perry has a very well anticipated project that's coming out, which is the 6888 in December with Kerry Washington and Danielle from the Emmett Till Smith project with Whoopi Goldberg. We're looking for, she's a phenomenal actress. I am looking forward to seeing it. Tyler gives a lot of his actresses, the young lady from Sisters is going to be on it. He really recycles a lot of his people in his projects. And he has a lot of talent. He has a lot of talented Black actors. And I look forward to seeing it. And one thing I have to say before we move on from this discussion, Tyler is making that dough, because this deal from Netflix, do y'all not see that ever since this project dropped, all of Tyler Perry's movies is on Netflix? All of them. You can go and binge all of his projects. Tyler knows how to drop all these projects that he has and put it out so that he can continue to make money, and his projects are out there. And also the visibility that we see these people. You never know, somebody might be sitting at home and they watch a project and they see an actor and they can get hired on another project just because they saw that. They would have never saw it before. They don't go to BET and watch Black cinema and things, but they'll go to Netflix and see it. So it's important.
I agree.
But when you are dating someone before you get all the way married, there are financial red flags that stick out. Now, just let me make sure I get them all off of my good list here. Number one, multiple cheering, not children, cheering. Baby mamas, baby daddies, baby cousins, baby, everybody's everywhere. Multiples. It's nothing wrong with somebody having kids before marriage. Auntie is not saying that. But we need to know about it. And you need to be taking care of them. We clear, because that's a red flag. If somebody's out here got all these children and aren't taking care of them, is that somebody you want to enter into a marriage with? Auntie says no, if they're not taking care of it. Bad credit. Number two, bad credit and acting like it ain't nothing. Now listen, Auntie understands that we all have to crawl before we ball, and we all have a past, and sometimes that past catches up with you. Now, if you have bad credit, don't be going around going on trips and cutting up and buying all the stuff and wearing all the labels and doing all the stuff and not working on repairing your credit. That's a problem for TT. You need to put an investment in fixing that, because what we're not going to do is get married and you run up my stuff, okay? Or vice versa.
We're going to wrap this up with what's the timeline. So tell me, Ink, what is on your timeline this season?
What has been on my timeline right now is whispers of Rihanna retiring. And honestly, I think we just need to have a very thoughtful conversation, folks. Even if Rihanna decided to retire from music, let it be. Rihanna has amassed so much wealth from starting off as a music artist and journeying into beauty that it is well deserved for her to hang her hat up on one of those ventures. This is a mother of two, a married woman. She's 35. Look, sometimes that work hip, them little gyrations don't gyrate the same way after two babies. So she may not be feeling it in the same way. I think when she made the announcement of, not even the announcement, but when she made the point of saying like,
was the thing that got the attention. But God had other plans for me, and I was able to create in ways that were like very sincere and genuine or organic and authentic to the things that I love. So it doesn't even feel like a job.
The vision that she had for herself and in the path that God put her on, looking the way it looks today, that's a conversation we all need to have with ourselves and be willing to take ownership of, to say, you know what? Sometimes we grow out of things. Sometimes I have started a journey to end up somewhere else. That's the whole point of the journey. You don't do a journey just to be walking in a circle. She didn't just enter music to just stay and only be one dimensional. Rihanna has done made so many just incredible achievements in music. And then to do the same, but more in beauty, that deserves to be rewarded. I wouldn't mind being 60, 70 years, 80 years old, and people only remember Rihanna as Fenty Beauty. That's fine for me. That gives me something to have all the kids sit around the fireplace and say, let me tell you about when she dropped this Ponda replay in 2006. Okay. Let me tell you about who she was before she did beauty. And it gives conversation that can be had and celebrated. But I think we should encourage more folks to be open to trying new things as your journey progresses. You don't want to always be one dimensional. And I think that's what people get afraid of when they hear her leaning or see her leaning more into motherhood and into beauty and into marriage. It's like, oh no, we're not going to get another album. And we'll be all right.
This is the question. And I think Rihanna knows this too. Music change. It's not the same when she was out there. She's almost a 40, if not 40-year-old woman. And it's a little harder now that she has kids. Her body is not snapping back where it used to be and things of that nature. I think she's more realistic with her life. Music was never her passion like someone like Beyonce. Even Beyonce has retooled and changed how she packaged and do her music. People want visuals from Beyonce, and she is given, no, baby, you are the visual, not me. I want you to open your ears and listen to the music, what I'm breaking down to you versus you just looking at imagery. Yes. And they get lost in that. So she's trying to prove a point that visuals are not always what they seem. And if you really love the music, it will be rewarded for itself. I personally think if you go back and look at it, Rihanna is an entertainer. She's not the biggest singer vocally. She's amazing. And I think as she got older, it's almost like, can I still be that bad girl, edgy girl? Because that's really what Rihanna's package is.
Yes.
Now she has a family. She's not married. It's her family is not conventional and all these things. She's going to get out there and do these things. Look at Beyonce. Her brand is basically virtually still the same, but she works at it. Will Rihanna be that dedicated? And I don't think her heart and her passion is into it. I think that she has seen and has a level of success with Savage Fenty that it is even more of, girl, I don't want to do that anymore. That was more work and less rewards than I'm doing this work over here and not having to do and be on as hard. I can actually have a life.
Yes.
We're seeing Beyonce doing this with her brands. When you're a global empire and not have to be artists to chuck and jive for you fans, you're able to have a meaningful life. So remember that.
I think you make such a great point, especially when we think about the way that her brand, Rihanna's brand, really took off with the Good Girl Gone Bad. That whole thing, that was the trajectory because of what people really gravitated toward was the buzz cut, the pink pixie cut, the blunt lit with the jewelry, the tattoo under the bra line. Like it was this whole, and even the culture. Yeah, yes. And even the culture that supported that version of Rihanna don't even exist in the same way because a lot of that stuff went viral on Tumblr. Yeah, we older now, and it kind of reminds me of how people reacted when Denzel mentioned he wanted to retire and how it was hellfire all over the internet. Denzel's retiring from acting. He had to go back and clean it up. Like, hold on.
I didn't say I was going to go into retirement. I said that it has to be a level of interest to me. I'm more interested in getting behind the camera.
Okay.
So that's about 5 years out.
Okay.
It's very difficult, and I may have used the word retire, but I look at life in 3 sections. Okay. You learn, you earn, and you return. I'm in the return part of life.
Now I'm not retiring. I'm just going to take a different approach to this thing that I love so much. And I think that's what's really beautiful about growth is you can say, I love this thing, but I also love it differently now. I love it in a different way. I'm able to love it from a distance. I'm able to love it, through someone. I'm able to, live vicariously through. Denzel got 4 kids in the industry. I'm able to love this vicariously through my children. Maybe I can partner in projects with my kids, or I can be behind the camera or in the writer's room. He's been in the industry for so long. He could genuinely do anything in the film and television industry, and it will thrive because of his vision and his work ethic. But people get so scared when they hear an artist or a celebrity is retiring from the thing they love, and that's because of their own codependency on that artist. But you got to remember that person is human, and growth is growth, and people are allowed to make choices for themselves.
A lot of people, your interests change as you get older. You don't want to do the same thing. But let me tell you something. If there's a love there, you can circle back around, just like we have Spin the Block. Rihanna will come back to music, guys. It's all about is when she do come back, are you going to be there for her when she makes that comeback? And a lot of you guys won't, because you'll be older. Your spending will be different. You will have different responsibilities. That's just the life that we live in. And look at how many times Elton John said he was retiring, and how many concerts have we seen behind it, and all the money that they make because they continue to keep bamboozling y'all with these, I'm retiring. Girl, bye.
That's how Jay-Z did us. He said, I'm retiring. After the Black album, I'm done. End up dropping, 3-4 more albums since then.
So we're going to get into what's on my timeline, the Elie Saab fashion show. And baby, it was phenomenal. We mentioned on the last episode about the Victoria's Secret fashion show, but the real fashion show of the season has been this Elie Saab 45-year creation.
I believe it is one of a kind event, not just for Riyadh, but for the whole world and for the whole fashion industry.
This feels really big. The performers are iconic.
He has been singing with me because I've been wearing his dresses, his talent, for many, many years. We're very, very privileged and very honored to be here.
Every dress is like a piece of art. He brings out the magic in being a woman.
I couldn't think of a better place to be than here in Saudi with you, honoring him.
I don't know what to expect, and I just know he's going to do such a great job.
And I can't wait for you to discover more.
This is how a show's supposed to look. Victoria's Secret, take notes. The guests look phenomenal. The guest was real money. When I say this was real haute couture money, they look phenomenal. The show was phenomenal. He brought back so many artists. Celine Dion, who looked fabulous. Congratulations, Celine, on coming back. Law, you styled her to perfection. To see Halle Berry on the stage in her recreated Oscar gown number. You guys, if you didn't know, you heard it here first. It was a recreated look. That was not the same gown she had on from her Oscar. And I'm going to give you a little point. Put it up on the screen, people. You see the ruching of the bottom of the gown. The actual material of the bottom of the gown is different from the original. The ruching is more, and it's more on the actual hip versus being on the leg, on the thigh area. Also, the bodice, the neck, the sleeves, the velvet trimming is different. One is higher, one is lower. And also the embroidery has more sparkles on it versus when she won the Oscars, it was flat. It didn't. So I just broke it down to y'all here on Culture Couture Fashion Police moment, while it's a recreation and not the original. But she looked phenomenal. And
yes.
Love you look phenomenal, girl. And it was just so many things. J-Lo came out there and gave quintessential entertainer, and I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, my favorite part was Halle Berry. Honestly, when I saw Halle, I was like, oh, I don't need to see anything. Well, Halle and Celine, I ain't gonna lie, Celine ate. But Halle, I love the way that not only are we seeing the past in this present recreation, because you're 1,000% right, is a recreation, but the recreation in itself felt more mature, and it felt like it grew up with her. That's the part that I was like, oh, this is sweet. This is not only just like beautiful, it's also very darling to have something that matures with the original, model of the look. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Her and Celine Dion, breathtaking. They were all over my timeline last night. I was floored, genuinely floored. Yep.
One last question before we go. I had to ask. This is girl talk. Girl chat.
Let's go.
How do you feel about how the Black men didn't or did show up for us as Black women during this election season?
Whoo! I'm not gonna lie. I've been waiting for this question. First, I'll say our percentages being as close as they were, I was actually appreciative of, because there was this thread going around on social media of, oh, Black men didn't show up. That percentage was significantly higher than I thought it was going to be, just given the conversation that was happening online. There was a lot of misinformation that went out about Kamala in this 5-month run that she had to run for president. I keep saying that if she had even a year, if Joe would have dropped out last summer, we would have had so much time to clear up all that misinformation that went out. But even in those 4.5 months, that misinformation got cleared up so fast that the votes reflected that our community responded to getting the truth about her misinformation. While I would have loved for our numbers to be closer, us to both be in the high 80s, low 90s, I'm still actually very surprised. I'm very impressed, and I am very appreciative. We know that Black people showed up at the polls this year. We know that we did our part. And that's also why so many Black women are going, oh, I ain't got it for you, baby. I can't do it. This is when I rest. These next 4 years, 4 years of entrepreneurship and rest. That's all I got for you.
And soft.
I just don't have it.
You know,
I
what
just
they
don't
say?
have it.
If you see something, say something. Well, Black women, we are not saying nothing these next 4 years. Nothing.
Okay.
I'm a piggyback. I think I agree with you with the 70% of men, Black men showing up. Congratulations. Because we were hearing that they were not supporting, they was not showing up. But dare I say it, the other 30% compared to like 8-9% of Black women not voting for Kamala or other. Black men, Jesus. It should have been 90, just like Black women. What's the problem?
It should have been.
I'm like, it's a problem. There's a breakdown. What's the problem? And Black men, I don't care about nobody else. It's giving Black men, because you be the first ones that run out there and try to throw money at Black women to get an abortion.
Ooh,
you're the main ones that die of prostate cancer because you don't have insurance. You're the main ones that die and don't have life insurance, can't bury yourself. You're the main ones that's running out here. The last words that you say before you die, mama, not daddy. So why couldn't you see a Black woman being president? And I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys for joining Culture Couturé Podcast, and stay tuned for more bonus episodes on Culture Couturé Podcast. So like, share, and subscribe right here on YouTube, our new family. Yay, we're so excited. So get your notification, hit that notification bell right down there for Culture Couturé Podcast, and you will be alerted for when we have something more to say. Thank you, Ink.
No problem. Thank you. I love it. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, comment. We'll see y'all next time.